With us right now, as we continue here on Sports Talk, former UTEP minor great Mike Richmond. We've got local pro boxer who's undefeated in Abel Mendoza, not to mention a man that wears so many hats, it's impossible to say which one is which, but he is the director of the nonprofit Lucid Love, Sal Monteleongo. Gentlemen, welcome aboard. Mike, Abel, Sal, good to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us, Steve.
Glad to be here, Steve.
Lasting.
I'll tell you what, guys, there's so much going on in this interview. I don't even know where to begin. Mike, let's start with you, all right? Last I spoke to you, Mike, you were living in Philly. You were coaching the Washington Generals. You were scouting talent for the Globetrotters and living the life. Now, here you are. You're in Portugal. It's almost 1 a.m. What has gone on, Mike? Tell me about everything that's happened. Catch me up in the last couple of years.
Well, you know, due to COVID, they shut it down for a while, and they had to let people go because of the situation of saving money. Mm-hmm. And by that time, I was making arrangements of, what's my next move? Well, waiting on my next move, we got a call that my mother-in-law, she the last one out of my mom and dad and my wife and her dad. So mom is the last one is my mother-in-law. And we decided to move back to Portugal to support her. So
that's awesome.
That's why I'm living in Portugal. But meanwhile, before I came to Portugal, before I left the Globetrotter, I was already doing boxes with fighters from Portugal. And one thing led to the next. I bring him over to the States. He won his first 2 fights over there. He done won 2 over here. He's 4-0. You start talking, and now I got more fighters that want to come under the umbrella to fight in the States. And then I meet Sal and Paso, and trying to get things done there. It's like the more you keep doing, the more people you meet. And I knew once I start mentioning things that it was going to get out. But right now I'm involved. I'm still involved with basketball, but I'm more involved with boxing right now because a lot of these guys in Portugal, they can fight, but they're not getting seen. Same thing with an Avid. They're not getting seen.
Now, did you ever play or coach in Portugal basketball prior to coming and moving there?
Well, I played 13 years in Europe. So Portugal was my second year.
Okay.
My first year was Sweden. When I got drafted by Dallas Mavericks out of UTEP in '87, I wound up going to the CBA when they released me, played 3 years in the CBA, and then I wound up getting an agent and he sent me to Europe. So when I came my second year in Portugal, that's when I met my wife. And we've been together since over 30 years. We got 2 kids, and I'm just really retirement and just enjoying myself because the life over here is much easier, you know, than the States to me.
Well, first off, congratulations on everything. That's phenomenal. Love the story about, meeting your wife in your second year playing in Portugal. And now here you are, 2 kids and getting a chance to go back there. That's great. You're a connection to those great 80s UTEP teams that so many of our listeners know and love because those teams were loaded. You guys had NBA players. You had guys where they're hanging jerseys off the rafters left and right. I mean, you were right in the middle of probably the best time of UTEP basketball since those 60s, because from about 82 or 83, Mike, all the way to 92, all the minors were doing were hanging banners every year from the Don for winning WAC championships and going to the tournament.
Man,
golden years.
They were.
Awesome time in the 80s. I couldn't select a better team, a better school to go to. UTEP embraced us so well. The fans are great. You know, it had a lot to do with the 66. Don't forget. But we came in there with the players that they had before I got there, and the chemistry that was going on. All they need is bits and pieces. That's all coach needs. He just needed 1 or 2 players to come in and do their part, and we just kept going. And it was fun because the crowd was so awesome. They kept you fired up from the time you started the game to the time you end the game. And don't even talk about leaving town and coming back home, because you can imagine going out of town and coming back home. The airport got 3,000-4,000 people at the airport waiting for us to get back. But we did have an awesome team. I just think it was the chemistry of the players. You're talking about Jude Smith, Wayne Campbell.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Jeep Jackson.
Jackson.
Hang on 1 second, Mike. Sal, I'll get to you in a minute. All right. He's chomping at the bit. Don't worry, Sal. I'll give you time. Give Mike a chance. Give Mike a chance to reminisce and mention some of those greats. All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
You talking Tim Hardaway, Antonio Davis, Chris Blocker, Chris Sandel, Terry Starworld. We had some great players at that time that was at UTEP. And then as we was leaving and more coming in, it just kept rolling. It wouldn't stop still. But who didn't want to play for Don Haskins? Who didn't want to play at UTEP? The beautiful school, the gym, the ladies, the town, the restaurants, the people. It was one of my best things what happened to me was to go to University of Texas at Paso.
That's phenomenal. We're talking to Mike Richmond along with Sal Monteleongo as well. And we also have Abel Mendoza with us. So we've got a lot of great names. Sal, how did you, I know we're going to talk to Abel in a minute, but how did you get in contact with Mike Richmond?
Well, it all started with my friend, Mike Boogie Thompson. He has a gym called House of Hoops, and we've been friends for a long time. And he knows me. My heart is with boxing as far as, like the Golden Gloves, USA Boxing. And this year, unfortunately, I didn't do the promotion for the Golden Gloves this year. And then Mike Thompson told me, you know what, don't worry. I got someone I want you to meet. And that's how we met. That's how I met Mike Richmond. We started talking about boxing, what we can do for the city, what we can do professionally here in El Paso. And it just lifted up my spirits. Him and Mike and like I said, Abel lifted up my spirits. A new resurgence, coming up this year. I'm so excited about the future coming up for El Paso. Knowing that Mike's interested, knowing that Abel's, is ready to take over this city. I feel really blessed to be connected with these two.
It's phenomenal. Mike, I'm just wondering how a guy like yourself that's been so vested in basketball all these years, how'd you get involved in boxing to begin with?
Well, I'm gonna keep it short. My wife and another young lady, we all met together when I was playing over here, and her boyfriend at the time became my husband. He was into boxing, but I couldn't work on his career because I was worrying about my own career. That was just my second year in Europe, and I wound up playing 13 years in Europe. So by the time I retired, went back to Philly, relaxed, we get a phone call. Her son is boxing. So her son is Milton Jeremiah. And he asked, could he come to the States? He wanted to become pro. They didn't have pros in Portugal. You have to go outside of the country and become a pro. So he came to the States. He got his daybreak. We did it in Delaware. He won. And from there, the sky was the limit. And then we went this June to Pittsburgh to do a fight, and he won that fight. And then on the way back to Portugal, he asked me, can I help out other fighters? And then that's when everything started trickling. And then that's when me and Sal started talking. Abe came in the pictures, other fighters came in the picture. But I love it, it's helping others. Like I got help, they need help.
Right now, we're going to get a chance to meet boxer, an undefeated boxer for that matter, Abel Mendoza, right here in El Paso. Over 30 pro bouts. He is perfect so far, including, I think your last fight was earlier in the month. Am I correct, Abel?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just had one.
Nice. How did that fight end? Ended a knockout like every other fight is?
The ref stopped it in the fourth round because, not the ref, the doctor. The doctor stopped it because his nose was broken or fractured. I'm not too sure, but I think it was broken.
That's usually what happens when you hit it. So good job there, Abel. Way to go. And by the way, for somebody like yourself, you've been fighting since I believe your debut was March of 2016. And since then, you're undefeated. And we know what El Paso is like as a boxing community, Abel. For you, is the hardest part right now getting a chance to just try to get that big break and get you on the national stage?
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's at right now. I want that opportunity to put El Paso on the map.
You're 5'8". You're fighting right now as a super featherweight. Is that accurate?
Super feather, and lightweight.
Okay.
I could fight. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what. Just give you the chance. You'll get to the weight, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yep, exactly.
Sal, if we haven't had a chance really to see Abel in the ring, how do you describe him? I know his nickname is Zorro. I saw that, but tell me what he's like as a fighter right now.
He's very quick, very strong. I like his speed. I like his agility. I see the sky's the limit for this young man. Like a 34, like I said, when I told Mike about his record, Mike tripped out. He was like, wow, 34-0. And I go, that saw his speed and all his quickness. You know what? And he's a good person. He's a good person inside and out. And that's what makes him a champion in my mind.
Makes a lot of sense. Abel, do you have to go out of town to spar a lot before your fights, or is there enough quality sparring for you here in El Paso where you're able to get it done?
No, I usually have to go out of town. I actually have my camp in San Diego, and I go out there. There's good fighters here, but right now I've been going a lot to San Diego and doing my camps out there.
Do you know yet when your next fight is going to be? Best case scenario, do you want to fight sometime this summer?
Oh yeah, most definitely fight this summer. I'm seeing right now where to fight, seeing what the best option is, but most definitely I'm trying to fight this summer.
Sal,
maybe even twice if it's possible.
That would be great. Well, first off, you look really good from your last fight, so it's obvious that the guy didn't do any damage to you. You did all the damage yourself. Yeah. Sal, I guess the key now with somebody like Abel, who's 34-0, is just getting that break. It's difficult. I've seen it before with other local fighters. And I remember when Tony Escalante was coming up the ranks, and he was in some wars, and then got thrust into a fight last minute with Daniel Ponce de Leon. He took it. He wanted that title fight, and it didn't go well. And after that, he was never the same. So I guess you got to be careful with Abel, because you don't want to rush something, but you also want to see him get what he deserves, which is that big shot.
Most definitely. We're here to take care of Abel, first and foremost. Put him in a situation where he can succeed. We're not going to put him in a situation where he can fail. And I gave him my word. I'm not here to just make a name for myself or make a name. I want Abel to succeed, because I think El Paso needs it. El Paso wants it. El Paso has to have this kid rise to the top. And, talking to Mike, we're looking at something maybe. Can I say it, Mike? We're looking at the Don Haskins and
yes.
In the near future, his old coach, a great legend. I would love to see Abel dominate here in El Paso so we can go forward. I think it would be beautiful if the Don Haskins, Mike Richmond coming home to the coach who embraced him, who took care of him, and to start off with Abel, to focus on Abel Mendoza here at the Don Haskins Center, hopefully this summer or maybe later on this year. Get a nice fight here before we get a title shot.
So, Mike, is the idea to start promoting fights in El Paso and maybe bring in an event where, Abel can be on the main event card and start doing things like that? Is that something you're thinking about right now?
Yes, that's something all of us thinking about. That's even hometown. It's just an easy target. And plus, I want to do more in the school that took care of me while I'm at being successful where I'm at right now. So, but we definitely want to make sure we take care of him. The key is to take care of him and other fighters and to bring out the best in El Paso. And I really know what they need. I already know.
Last time I saw you in El Paso at the Haskins Center, you were coaching the Washington Generals.
Yeah, remember when I started off with the conversation that COVID had shut down all the coaches for the Washington General as well as some for the Globetrotters. But now they operated, they back on the road, they doing great. they doing great success. They asked if if you want to come back, you just gotta start all over. But I chose not to because I had other obligations to fill. I had to come to Europe to take care of my mother-in-law and also take care of these fighters as well while I'm over here. But they doing good. They already on a roll. I don't know if they make it to El Paso this year, but I know they're going to be there soon.
Yeah, they were in El Paso not that long ago, about a month ago is when they were here.
Okay, so they made
good.
it. Yeah.
See,
yeah.
I think you left not because of COVID. I think you got tired of not beating the Globetrotters. I think that's what it came down to, Mike. You get a team who's always close. You got that big, tall guy that looks like Darth Vader, and the fans hate him. And then at the last minute, the Globetrotters score some like 10-point shot, and they win. I mean, after a while, you got to say to yourself, you know what? If we can't beat them, I got to do something else. I got to go into boxing or something like that.
Man, every time I be thinking that we get that last minute, that last 1 minute, we got it, we hanging in there. They just do something so crazy to get us, and I look up and like, no, not again. And it's like, wow.
Well, you know what's funny? I think the actual last recorded loss for the Globetrotters was against UTEP. And that was like in 2004 when the Miners were on that college tour that the Globetrotters had that year. They had like 6 to 8 schools that they played real games against. And that was the year Billy Gillespie had that turnaround season when the Miners went to the tournament from 6 wins to 24 wins. They beat the Globetrotters with Cedric Ceballos, and people in El Paso still talk about that game because it was a straight up game. And it was, I think, the last documented loss that the Globetrotters have had.
Yeah, I don't think that was when they was playing, when they had the team going out playing the college.
Yep, exactly.
The actually Globetrotter team, they lost, I think, way longer than that. They had one loss, and it was I can't remember if it's 60s or 70s. It was around that time.
Yeah. No, this was a serious game. This was not the usual kind of game. This one was. This game got pretty intense also. And from what I heard, and this might be true, might not, the Globetrotters had a clause in their contract that if they went undefeated, they got like a $20,000 bonus. And because the Miners beat them, it cost them a little bit in their paychecks when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
So
you know how that works.
Yeah, sure. You're smiling just like I would be too. After all the years of coaching the Generals, I get it, man. I totally get it. Well, look, I'm excited for all of you guys. Before I wrap things up, Sal, because we're low on time, but I want you to at least tell me about Lucid Love, your nonprofit that you're the director of. Tell me what it's about, Sal.
Lucid Love, what we do is we combat bullying. We give kids that, that avenue to understand that, what you do to other people is really affecting other people, not just the person you're tormenting, but you're affecting the entire family. And also we talk to the bystanders, people who are watching, looking at this violence go on. So me and Mike, we all collaborated together, and we're going to have a boxing camp August 13th, Mike?
Yes, sir. 11 to 1.
We're gonna have a citywide boxing camp in the name of KO Bullying. It's gonna be at 2000 Lee Trevino Suite J. We got Abel who's gonna help us out. Helping us out with the kids to show them how to wrap their hands. Bring up the self-esteem with some of these kids. A lot of these kids are bashful. They're very sensitive. Give them something. I'm not saying violence is good to attack violence, but love who you are. Appreciate who you are. Maintain that. Sanity. We're all gonna get bullied in life. I don't think anybody leaves this earth without someone picking on them. It's how you deal with it, how you deal with these people. Just, like I said, it's just take them off your shoulders and keep on moving. Don't let these people bring you down so much where you can't live your life.
When will signups be for kids if they want to take part in the August camp?
We're looking at hopefully maybe in June, once we get everything, all the logistics part of it, the paperwork and stuff like that, then I'll go ahead and attack the city. I'll attack the city, through the counselors, through the principals, and it'll be like first come, first serve. We just want to, like I said, get the first one out of the way, and then hopefully we'll do it every month or every other month. Like I said, the first one is the most important now. This boxing camp means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to Mike, means a lot to Abel, because Abel gets a chance, to get out there and help kids, show kids how to wrap their hands, show them how to, how to move correctly, how to pivot and stuff like that. That's what we want to do. Just give the kids the basics.
Sounds terrific. Gentlemen, you've all been great. Appreciate you, Sal, Abel, Mike. Great to catch up with you again. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys back here real soon. All right. Take care.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Steve.
All right.
Have a good day.
Later.
You as well.